When it comes to performing music, playing the correct notes is important. But what I'd argue is more important is how you play them. Take a listen to these two players. They're going to play the same piece of music, but at the end of the videos, tell me which one you prefer. So I think most of us would agree that player two's performance was more enjoyable to listen to. But why? Well, player two performed with emotion. He conveyed feeling in his playing. Now, player one, he played all the correct notes and he played it in time, but his performance sounded very robotic. So the question is, how do we play like player two? Well, that's what this course sets out to teach you. Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com, and in this video, I'm excited to announce the launch of our brand new course, which is called Classical Technique and Style. So Stephen Warren wrote this course specifically for folks who love classical music but have always wanted to learn how to perform it with more authenticity. So how is he going to teach you how to do that? Well, let's take a look at how the course is laid out. So as you can see, the course is laid out in 4 modules, with each module containing multiple lessons. In Module 1, we'll start at the beginning. We're going to revisit the fundamentals required for playing classical ukulele, some of which include sitting position and posture, as well as the general principles of the Pima picking style. In Module 2, you're going to learn the 2 main picking techniques that are used by every classical ukuleleist. These are apoyando and tirando, aka the rest stroke and the free stroke. Both techniques are taught using the same layout. They begin by teaching you the mechanics behind executing each technique, and when you're comfortable with that, you're going to learn multiple exercises which put each technique to work. All of these exercises are tabbed out and accompanied by an interactive tab player. Now, this is a really cool feature where you can hit play, you can watch the tab scroll across in real time, you can highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed you wish. It's just a really great asset in learning techniques like these much easier. Now at the end of this module, Module 2, you're going to learn a performance piece for each picking technique. So let's take a listen to the performance piece for apoyando. In Module 3, you're going to learn 3 ways to add expression and emotion into your performances, all of which culminate into this performance piece. And finally, in Module 4, you're going to combine everything that you've learned to perform this classical masterpiece. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Stephen, who's going to show you 3 types of dynamics that you can use in your own playing to create a huge impact on the overall sound.
In this unit, we're going to look at another performance technique called dynamics. So dynamics simply refers to the volume of the music being played, and it's another tool for adding expression to our playing. If we play a piece of music very loudly, for example, then it's probably going to have a more kind of forceful, commanding sound. But then if we play that same piece of music more quietly, then it's going to have a very different feel. And if we can vary the volume during our performance of a piece of music, then that can have a huge impact on the expression and emotion we can convey in our performance. It really has the power to take the listener on a journey. And these changes in volume can be subtle or extreme. They can be sudden or gradual. They can last for a whole phrase or section or be as short as one note. Dynamics really are one of the most important and powerful parts of playing music, and especially classical music. So there are 3 different types of dynamics that are commonly notated in music. These are static dynamics, transition dynamics, and accent dynamics. So let's get our theory on and have a look at each of these in a bit more detail. Static dynamics involve the composer simply indicating on the score how loud a passage of music should be played. You've probably seen symbols like this before on sheet music. These are dynamic indications. They're typically written in Italian, and there are a range of different indications for a range of different volumes. So if we start with the quietist, we use the symbol PP, meaning pianissimo, and that means we should play the passage very soft. And then moving up in order of loudness, we go to P for piano, meaning soft. Then we go to MP for mezzo piano, meaning moderately soft. We then move up to MF for mezzo forte, meaning moderately loud, followed by F for forte, meaning loud, and then finally FF for fortissimo, meaning very loud. Now there are even more extreme examples of this, such as PPP and FFF, meaning like very, very soft and very, very loud. But the 6 indications shown in this table are probably the most commonly used, certainly on the ukulele, with a sort of, I suppose, limited range of volumes that we can produce on the instrument. So MF and MP are probably what I would call kind of normal volume. If we're not thinking about dynamics and we're just kind of playing at our normal volume, then we're probably playing MF or MP. MF being like on the louder side of normal, and then MP being on like the quieter side of normal. So if you see one of these symbols on the score, then you know how loud that passage of music is intended to be played, and then the volume doesn't change until you reach another different symbol. So in this example, we can see that the first 2 measures are played piano or softly, then measures 3 and 4 are played forte or loud, and this change in volume is sudden. We go from playing softly straight into playing loud. So let's have a listen to how that would sound in practice. Sometimes though we don't want that sudden abrupt change in volume, we might want a more gradual increase or decrease in volume, and that's where transition dynamics come in. So again, I'm sure you're familiar with the terms crescendo and decrescendo. These are just examples of transition dynamics. So a crescendo is the gradual increase in volume, and this will usually be indicated on the score by a hairpin line, but it could also be indicated by the word crescendo or just the abbreviation CRESC. And transition dynamics will often be used in conjunction with static dynamic indications. So in this example, you can see that we play the first 2 measures piano or softly, and then in measure 3 we're gradually increasing the volume until we're playing loudly or forte at the end of that final measure. So let's have a listen to how that would sound in practice. So the opposite of a crescendo is a decrescendo, sometimes called a diminuendo, and this will be indicated on the score either by a reverse hairpin line or just the word decrescendo or diminuendo, or just the abbreviations of those words decresc or dim. So in this example, you can see that we begin playing fortissimo or very loud, and then in measure 3 we have a decrescendo, so we gradually bring the volume down over the next 2 measures until we're playing mezzo piano or moderately soft at the end of measure 4. So let's have a listen to how that would sound in practice. The third type of dynamics are called accent dynamics. This is where the composer will indicate that just a single note or chord should be played louder. This will be indicated by a greater than symbol. So in this example, you can see that those double stops on beat 2 of each measure should be played louder. Once we've played that accented double stop, we just go back to playing at whatever volume we were before. In this example, that's mezzo forte. So let's have a listen to how that would sound in practice. So in terms of how to vary the volume of our playing, there's no real technique or trick to it really. We simply just pick the strings a little bit softer for a quiet sound, and we pick them with a bit more force to achieve that louder sound. That fine control we have over the weight of our picking, though, doesn't necessarily come straight away. As always, when learning a musical instrument, it's something that improves over time with practice and experience. The beginner player probably will be able to play quietly and loud, but that kind of fine control over everything in between will improve the more you play and the more you practice. And in time, you'll be able to produce a really wide dynamic range with your pick in hand. So that's just a short crash course in dynamics, and I've talked a lot in this video about composers indicating on the score how we should apply dynamics to a piece of music, and that's fine, but where I think dynamics become really fun and interesting is when we as the performer decide where to apply them. As I said at the start of this video, dynamics really are one of the most powerful and important tools for conveying expression and emotion in our playing, and I would encourage you to experiment and have fun with dynamics. In a similar way to rubato, if you can apply these techniques in a tasteful and thoughtful way where you feel they should be within a piece of music, then it will elevate your performance to something much more unique and personal. Okay, so when you're ready, come and join me in the next unit where we'll look at applying rubato and dynamics to a lovely little dance tune by Ferdinando Carulli.
Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this sample lesson from the course. At this point, I'd like to invite you to come check out the course, which you can do so by clicking this link or going to the site rockclass101.com and doing a search for classical technique and style. Now, if you're not a member of rockclass101.com yet, please take a second to sign up for basic membership. It's 100% free, and it's going to gain you access to 4 more lessons from the course completely for free. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video up until the end, and we look forward to seeing you in the course. Take care.